The female billionaire dressed as a rural woman to attend her adopted son's wedding. She did this just to make herself look less flashy. Little did she know, her in-laws despised poverty and favored wealth. They insisted on driving her out. The female billionaire asked her son for help. She hoped he could take a stand and ask them to keep her there. But to her surprise, her son criticized her clothes for being old-fashioned. He said it ruined his face. He publicly turned on her. He refused to acknowledge their mother-son relationship. He even insulted his mother, calling her a shameless, crazy woman. Reflecting on the years of sacrifice, the female billionaire's tears welled up in her eyes. To prevent her son from indulging in excessive spending and turning into the kind of spoiled playboy she hated, at the peak of her success, she resolutely chose to exit the business world. She took her young son back to the countryside and lived an ordinary life until her son grew up and succeeded and started working in a big city. The female billionaire was still living in the countryside, leading a humble life. Before the wedding even took place, her old subordinate came to find her. They begged the female billionaire to come back into business. The business world had become unpredictable, and they urgently needed someone like her to take charge. The female billionaire did not give an immediate answer, because before that, she needed to keep an eye on her son and his future. She also wanted to assess the character of her daughter-in-law's family. In front of her old subordinate, she called her son, but her son's tone sounded a little awkward. He said the journey was too far, and asked his mother not to come to the wedding. The female billionaire felt something was off. Her son was getting married. How could she, as a mother, not attend? So she immediately asked her old subordinate to take her to the city. She wanted to see for herself what her son was up to. That afternoon, the female billionaire arrived at her son's wedding house. She expected her son to warmly welcome her, but to her surprise, he shoved her outside. The female billionaire was confused. Her son, on his knees, cried and pleaded. He told his mother that the reason he could marry the rich girl was because he lied, claiming he had no parents. He wouldn't waste money. Only then would his father-in-law agree to the marriage. If they found out that he had a mother from the countryside, it would be a disaster. After listening to her son's sob story, the mother shook her head. She told him, lying and deceiving will never bring lasting happiness. What his father-in-law could offer him, she could provide the same, if not more. In fact, she could offer even more than they could. The wealthy woman remained calm. She didn't seem like she was lying at all, but her son wore a bitter smile. He thought his mother was just comforting him, but the mother didn't care about how her son felt. She left a few comforting words and turned to leave. For this wedding, she needed to plan carefully. As she watched her mother leave, the son's face was filled with anger. It seemed like his mother was nothing but a burden to him, that his mother would listen to him and wouldn't interfere with his life again. But on the wedding day, his mother still showed up in cheap clothes. At the wedding venue, the son quickly explained to everyone that he didn't know the woman standing in front of him. The mother was stunned. She never expected her son, whom she had raised for decades, would say such a thing. Furious, she told him if he still cared for their bond, he should kneel and apologize, and maybe she would forgive him. But the son showed no remorse. He even threw the money from his pocket on the ground, trying to sever their mother-son relationship for good. The mother was devastated with anger. She scolded him for being unfilial. They erupted into a fierce argument. The atmosphere was awkward. Everyone's attention was completely focused on this mother and son. At this moment, a group of people burst in through the door. The leader of the group presented a brocade box, claiming they were from the largest company in the city. They had come specifically to offer her son a position. He was about to reach out to take the box, but unexpectedly, his mother knocked the box to the ground. She announced in front of everyone that she was revoking all the benefits she had planned to give him, because this was the first gift she had planned to give her son. But now, she had changed her mind. Her son was heartless and ungrateful. He did not deserve it. The female billionaire's actions stunned everyone. No one could believe that a simple rural woman could hold such power over the personnel decisions of a major corporation. Her act of knocking over the brocade box was undoubtedly asking for trouble. Before anyone could recover from the shock, her old subordinate arrived. He brought with him the second great gift. The first was a $1 trillion contract for her son's father-in-law's company. The second was a standalone villa for the groom. The son was overjoyed, unable to contain his excitement. But before he could celebrate, an unpleasant voice interrupted. The female billionaire loudly declared that she was also taking back this second gift. Her words completely infuriated her son and his in-laws. Everyone demanded that this crazy woman be thrown out. Just then, her old subordinate stepped forward. The scene immediately fell silent. The father-in-law's family rushed over with flattering smiles, complaining about her. They claimed they needed to teach the female billionaire a lesson and have her thrown out of the wedding. The son also joined in, criticizing his mother. He began insulting his own mother. Before the female billionaire could take any action, her old subordinate slapped her son across the face. This act stunned everyone in the room. The old subordinate respectfully bowed to the female billionaire. He asked her what her next move would be, but when the female billionaire spoke, her words left the father-in-law's family frozen in shock. She declared that she would use all her connections in the company to completely block her father-in-law's family business. She wanted to ruin her ungrateful adopted son and destroy his reputation. For his betrayal and neglect, he would pay the price he deserved. In the female billionaire's view, wealth and glory were ultimately illusions. Only true, loyal hearts would lead to the right path.